Hello Blender peeps. I wanted to create a short video to demonstrate how I created kind of like a small ocean with a object jumping out causing a splash, and yet you still have like the waves or ambient motion of the water, and this is kind of what it looks like. Keep in mind this is on a really small scale, so it looks a little blobby, a little clunky, but it's just for demonstration purposes of how I did this effect. So we'll jump into Blender here. One of the key things you need to get is the Flip Fluid add-on for Blender, and it's found at the Blender Marketplace, and I'll leave a link for it in the comments down below. Um, so I started with a cube, and this is the cube, and if you add the ocean modifier, which is found in your modifiers, you add the ocean modifier, it creates this. And after tweaking with the settings and animating the time, I created this, and it looks like a little mini ocean with some ambient waves. Now, once you get this the way you like it, what you want to do is bake it out, and you can save it to a folder that you can remember, that's easy to know. Usually, once you save your project, you can, once you save your project, you can then probably save this in the same folder, just so it's easy to remember. And again, you bake it out. Now, once it's baked out, I'm going to hide my ocean modifier. Um, in this collection here, it contains my domain for my flip fluids, uh, the base mesh that I used for the water, and then a sphere as a collision object. Now, in the modifier stack, I added a displacement modifier. All right, and you'll see why I did this. I subdivided it some more. Now, the base mesh, is a cube, and I've subdivided it quite a bit, so that way when I add the texture in the displace, it's going to move it. Now, where did I get this from? That's right. Remember the bake I did earlier with the ocean modifier? Well, that data gets saved, and it creates this little EXR texture, as you can see here. And I read that in. Now it's an image sequence, and I added not much, just that's really about it for the displacement. And it goes from one frame to that. Um, one I think regarding the texture, I set it for local. It's a Z, and this is the strength. You can play with this if you want. I kind of set it to 0.2. That was like a good. That was a good range. Now, once you do this, and you read in this bake, you go to your domain, and in the domain for the flip fluids, you go ahead and you run the simulation, you bake it, and then what happens is it creates a mesh. All right, and this is the liquid mesh that is created by flip fluids. Okay, and what you're going to see is, I'm going to hide all this up here. Uh, Sorry. So what we're going to do is we'll just hide that. So all the wavy stuff is now added in, and you're going to get, your waves and your splashing, and this is all created. Now, remember, to get the waves in your water that you created for your flip fluids, you want to make sure to open up that bake you did earlier, and then it's going to apply the EXR file to it, which makes the cue ball wavy. And then when you do your domain and you do your flip fluid simulation and bake it, it's going to add all those waves. It's going to add all those waves to that water. So then when you go to play it back, I'm just hiding some stuff here. You're gonna get oops, going backwards. You're gonna get your waves in the water as well. Now, again, this looks a little blobby because this is a really small scale. If you want something more realistic, go with a bigger scale. But that's really about it. Hopefully that helps you. I'm sure there's way better ways of doing this. This is just the only way I know of doing it. And feel free to leave a comment about it. And happy blendering.